Hi, it's 975 and welcome to Elite Dangerous on the Xbox One. And today I'm trying to bring you footage of a 1v1. Unfortunately, it wasn't totally a 1v1 because there was this bit where everyone jumped in. There were about 12 Dark Marauders in system. Savage was sitting in Shinny. I think he had 4 pips to keyboard. And one of my subscribers said, "Oh, I really like your videos." I responded to him. Savage saw it in the system chat and ended up challenging me to 1v1, said his videos are much better than my videos. I don't think he was aware that I do the YouTube thing, and he's talking about his combat clips, which he has an absolute bucket load of on his hard drive. He's one of those guys who loves to sit at Shinny and just fight. He's very distinct in what builds he'll fight against. I switched out of my Cobra because my Cobra is beam lasers and missiles, and I know Savage does not like fighting against missiles. He has some very, very interesting builds. I really like this one, the Diamondback Scout. I'm not sure, I'll have to ask him, but I think he's got short range blaster PAs with thermal, so he does more damage when he's hot, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm very lazy in this 1v1. I spend most of my time trying to eke out the most out of my shields, and basically because I know the Savage ones circling me and coming onto me, that works well for my frags. The only thing I do of note in this is I do pretty good job of eking out the last out of my shields and using heat sinks to prop up my distributor while I'm doing that, because I use my heat sinks just purely to recharge my weapons, my distributor, rather than worrying about, well, I don't want to take power out of my shields. You'll see as the fight progresses, my shields are clinging on by a thread, and I'm like, I don't want to, because I just know that I'll get caught with 1 pip to shields and then that's it. Because the hull on this thing is not the best. I'll probably get ripped through. It's fine against like phasing and stuff like that. Oh, that was the best time on target I got in this entire fight, and it was purely due to luck on a ram. But you know, what are you going to do? Take advantage of it immediately. Also, one of the big helps I had was that I've got a missive on one of the frag cannons, which I think helped, and I've got corrosive on one of the other frag cannons. So I think the effects really, really helped me out in this one. But overall, Savage is a way better combat pilot than me, massively so. He also has some of the most interesting builds on Xbox. I especially like his Viper Mark IV, which is just a tank. That thing is beast. I mean, I like my armor build Cobra, but that would not stand up to his armor build Viper Mark IV. The Viper Mark IV has the most hull for any small ship, in theory, and he puts that into practice, and he's built one that's just uber tough. He's the only person I've ever seen that sort of ram that's Mality and comes out better from it, because Mality does not skip hull day. Mality's builds are always very hull heavy, and the Savage one in their fight I saw a while ago, it's a fairly meaty collision when I think it's Savage's Viper rams into Mality's crate. Both ships come out really badly from that one, but it is interesting. I do like Savage's builds. They're interesting, fun builds. I know that he doesn't like fighting against missiles, which is why I didn't fight him in my Cobra. I mean, if I'd have fought him in my Cobra, I would have just targeted his weapons with my missiles and done that way. But you know, that's the joy of missiles against someone who's not who's overheating an easy target for missiles. But I know Savage doesn't like missiles, so I switched to my frag Mamba, which is the only other ship I had up here that night. And yeah, my frag Mamba is generally used to fight big ships, and I've often said it's rubbish in 1v1s because I don't have any shield cell banks. I'm not there for a sustained fight. But had Savage not been attacked by other members of the Dark Marauders, I'm pretty sure this may have gone differently. But it is a fun 1v1. I really do the best at eking out the most out of my shields, really trying to just keep those 4 pips planted in there, and using every little trick I can with my heat sinks and distributor just to eke out the power I need to maneuver and charge my weapons without taking the pips out of my shields when I really don't want to. I mean, my frag Mamba has actually got a decent amount of armor for a Mamba, but some of it's lightweight. The Mamba is just purely a compromise on everything for speed. You know, I've got D-rated shield boosters on there. I've got a combination of A and D rated to try and get light as possible, fast as possible, without being ridiculously easy to kill. And I think I've done an okay job in terms of speed and for what I want to use it for, which is basically to be a menace to big ships, to basically whiz in, blast away with my frags, and then if anyone else, like when I pick up a big wing of ships in mediums coming after me, burn away and run away. And it's been working pretty well at that. And I'm also cheekily doing the reboot repair a lot outside the edges of big wing fights. So it is primarily built to be a wing fighter. I did not intend to be doing 1v1s in it. And as I've said on my channel many a times, I'm a gimbal scrub and I suck at 1v1s. I'm trying to get better at PvP. I've recently been practicing with my plasma Mamba, and I decided to go with long range plasmax because of the increased shot speed. So it just helps that a little bit. Once I get used to that, I'll switch over to slower but stronger hitting plasmas. I don't really want to go down the route of the barrel stuffing short range blaster plasmax, because when you're always looking to ram and plasma ram, and you're always looking to just use the plasmax inside such close ranges, I'm not convinced that that's the best thing to do. It's great in a 1v1 ship, don't get me wrong, it's absolutely amazing if you build a 1v1 Python and you're able to get that close range smash and grab tactics in. You will do a lot of damage. I mean, a full-on plasma ram in a heavier ship will decimate people in a 1v1. The thing I'm cautious about is that if you get used to that tactic, it becomes a crutch, and in a wing fight it's not really a viable thing, because if you're plasma ramming everyone, you're going to be taking a lot of damage yourself. Those rams don't come without cost, and you know, I just think it's just better if you're able to hit from distance, snipe a few people here and there. At the moment I've got to get better at PvP, because it's kind of like the last thing in the game that I just don't do on a regular basis. I haven't PvP'd consistently in the game for long periods, and it's been the last few months I've really stepped up the amount of PvP I've been doing. Most of that PvP I have been doing has been wing fights with IED, which does kind of have its own skill set. Big wing fights, big wing battles are more about communication with your teammates and working out who you're focusing, you know, making sure you're not ramming into all your wingmates around you. You know, it's a lot different from 1v1s, and the ships you tend to build tend to be a lot more good in wing fights and less good at 1v1s. It always makes me laugh because a lot of the guys who 1v1 out of Shinny don't use interdictors and stuff like that and have extra armor. They don't have fuel scoops because they don't go anywhere. They don't, you know, there's a lot of non-compromise with their builds. Their builds are very much the best 1v1 fighty ship they can have. You know, and I do get destroyed by those type of ships. Vaz fought me the other day in his Python, and I got obliterated so quickly. It was humbling, but awesome to see. That Python is just absolutely hilariously destructive. But you know, I do enjoy those fights because I am learning a lot. I'm learning a lot about targeting, aiming, and I was happy in that fight that I hit a few good shots in my plasmax, but I let him barrel stuff me way too often, and I just can't take that much damage. You know, my ships aren't built that way. I need to, I don't know if I need to change my builds to be more suitable for 1v1s, or if I need to you know, do a specific 1v1 ship and then have my wing fighting ships, because my ships are pretty decent in wings. In wing fights my ships do pretty well. I was at this point gonna say GG, but Savage was coming back for another pass and was clearly not stopping. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll carry on till destruction. And I think at this point, had he caught me with a plasma ram, he probably would have just ripped through me. You know, that ship of his is tanky as hell. So I apologise to Savage One that the 1v1 was ruined right at the start, and I'll let you see the message I sent him after the fight and say GG, and that's all. Thank you very much for watching. I will catch you in the next one.